Recently, Matt Gaetz was in the Florida capital of Tallahassee to celebrate the, I guess you would call, passing of the torch, or technically the celebration of the future passing of the torch, as Republicans in the state of Florida have come up with a new Republican leader in Tallahassee. But that leader, Manny Diaz, actually doesn't get to become the leader until I think next year. But anyway, they had an announcement ceremony. Matt Gaetz showed up, and the Republicans in Tallahassee were very clear to the media that Matt Gaetz is going to be running for governor of the state of Florida in the year 2026. Of course, that is the year that Ron DeSantis is hit with his term limits, because in the state of Florida, as governor, you cannot serve more than 2 consecutive terms as the governor. It actually does technically leave open the possibility of running a third time, just not back to back to back. It would have to be back to back and then somebody else, and then you can run again. Either way, none of that's relevant. I'm just trying to give you a lesson on Florida term limits, because Matt Gaetz is likely running for governor. That's a horrifying thought. Now, look, as much as I want that guy to not be my representative here in my district, that doesn't mean that I want to inflict his disgusting brand of leadership onto the entire state. And I damn sure don't want to have to go from Ron DeSantis to Matt Gaetz. Because listen, folks, things have been getting steadily worse here in the state of Florida since Jeb Bush took over in 1998. We went from Jeb Bush to one term of Charlie Crist, who was more of a moderate, but he still was not good on environmental issues. Then we had Rick Scott for 8 years. By 2026, we will have had Ron DeSantis for 8 years. And then to go from 8 years of Rick Scott, 8 years of Ron DeSantis, to possibly 8 years of Matt Gaetz. Jesus Christ, if that happens, I'm sorry, Florida, but it's been real. I got to get the hell out of here. And here's the thing. Matt Gaetz doesn't have any real policies to stand on, but that doesn't matter to the voters here in Florida. Donald Trump, of course, moving down here after he lost in 2020, has brought a lot of conservatives with him. This state has gotten more conservative. And it's not even just like, oh, we've got more moderate Republicans now. No, we've got the bad ones, like the worst ones. The Trump lovers, the MAGA hat wearers, the people who go and do their little boat parades. That's what we got more of down here in Florida. So Ron DeSantis, according to political analysts here in Florida, not Ron DeSantis, Matt Gaetz, if he runs, he's already got 30% of the vote because he's going to get Trump's endorsement. So right out of the gate, Gaetz is the front runner. Whether he announces or not, he's still the front runner, which means he has a very good chance of winning here in the state of Florida. Now, the only thing that Gaetz has working against him, the very obvious thing, is the investigation. And while the DOJ decided that they were not going to press any charges against him, the House Ethics Committee did in fact reopen that investigation. So Gaetz is not done being investigated. And they could come out with a final report that says, yeah, he did these things. This is terrible. Or they could, say oh no, he didn't do anything. He's fine. But look at a guy like Ron DeSantis. Before Ron DeSantis came into office, that guy didn't have any scandals. Horrible POS, don't get me wrong. Same thing with while he's governor. But he doesn't have any scandals. Certainly not anything as bad as what Matt Gaetz had. So maybe there's a difference. Maybe that scandal hurts Matt Gaetz. Maybe he's not as popular throughout the state as he likes to think he is. I don't know. All I do know is that for the love of God, the state of Florida has suffered enough. We've been through enough. We don't need a little, power-hungry twerp like Matt Gaetz taking over as our governor, because I can promise you, just like with DeSantis, just like with Rick Scott, just like with Charlie Crist, and just like with Jeb Bush before him, it never ends well for the Florida voters. Oh, sure, the Republicans in the state get to claim a victory, but look around you. You haven't won anything. You're suffering just like the rest of us. Ring of Fire has fresh content 7 days a week, so if you want to be reminded about it, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, hit the little bell to be notified every time a new video goes up.